Welcome to your Astro forecast for the week of December 4th. I'm Sarah Nicole. This is Twisted Goddess Tarot, and my mission is to help you navigate the cosmic energies with greater awareness. If you're watching right now, that means you are probably watching the replay. If that's the case, go ahead and drop me a comment so I can come back and say hi to you. All right, so we are starting out this Astro forecast for those of you who do not know or are new here. Every week I pop on Mondays during the day, and we just go over what is happening in the cosmic dance for the week so that you can be prepared and energetically aligned for the week ahead with what is happening in the sky with the planets and the stars and the cosmic energy. So we're starting off today, Monday, December 4th. We have Venus moving into Scorpio, where it will stay until December 29th. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, harmony, and values. It's going to be moving out into the depths of Scorpio. And while it does that, we begin to crave more depth in our relationships. It's a time to really step out of keeping the peace because it's leaving Libra and step into some real vulnerability. So if you're single, be mindful because Venus and Scorpio can influence you to fall hard and fast. I actually told one of my friends the other night, like, she said, what's going on in the stars this week? I said, don't fall in love with everyone you meet. If you're in a relationship, it is time to connect deeper, to become more intimate, to open up more. Okay. So that's a little bit about Venus and Scorpio. Again, we're just craving more depth in our relationships. We're craving more intimacy. We're craving more vulnerability. And while, yes, Venus does speak to love, don't just apply that to your romantic relationships, right? We can apply that to all of our relationships in our life. And then Tuesday on December 5th, we have the last quarter moon at 12 degrees Virgo. So the last quarter moon occurs when the sun creates a challenging square aspect to the waning moon while the energy of the moon is releasing. This square aspect really pushes us into action, and it creates sort of a tension or a crisis mode, which makes the themes of the last quarter moon surround release, surrender, and letting go. This is the moon phase that we release on, the last quarter moon phase. So choose something to remove from your life that is no longer serving you. This could be a physical object. This could be a personality trait. This could be a relationship, a situation, a belief, anything really. You can look to where Virgo is in your chart to really help you, to assist you in your release work, because you can see that's where this last quarter moon is going to be activating. That's where this last quarter moon, that's the area of your life that is going to be activated by this last quarter moon. So if you're watching live or on the replay, go ahead and drop what your ascendant or your rising sign is in the comments, because I'm going to help you with your release work on this last quarter moon in Virgo, which is tomorrow, based on your rising or your ascendant sign. If you don't know your rising or your ascendant sign, I really recommend that you find that out. There's so many websites, free resources where you can pop in your date of birth, time of birth, location of birth, and find out your ascendant, aka your rising sign. This is something you really need to know because horoscopes are not written based on your sun sign. So you should not be reading horoscopes based on your sun sign. You should be reading them based on your ascendant or your rising sign, because that is how they are written. Okay. Me personally, as an astrologer, I cannot tell you what is going to be happening based on your sun sign alone. If I know your rising sign, I know how all of your houses are set up. And so I can tell you where certain energies are going to be transiting, what areas of life are going to be activating based on your ascendant or rising sign. Okay. So we're going to go through them here. If you are a Leo rising, hey Teresa, if you are a Leo rising, oh, I think I skipped one. Yep, I skipped. I'm going to start at Virgo rising. So if you're a Virgo rising, this last quarter moon in Virgo is going to be moving through your first house. So perhaps try releasing an aspect of yourself that is no longer serving you, an aspect of you, first house of self. If you are a Leo rising, Virgo is in your second house. Release a money block or a spending habit. If you are a Cancer rising, Virgo is in your third house. Release an outdated mindset or a perception or a way of communicating. If you are a Gemini rising, Virgo is in your fourth house. Release surrounding the home and the family. Let go is what let go of what is keeping you from having emotional security. If you are a Taurus rising, this last quarter moon is happening in your 5th house. Release inauthentic expression, drama, and allow your inner child to release something. If you are an Aries rising, this last quarter moon is happening in your 6th house. Release habits that are no longer serving you and any unnecessary responsibilities that are weighing you down. If you are a Pisces rising, this Virgo last quarter moon is happening in your 7th house. Release relationships or approaches to relationships that no longer serve you. If you're an Aquarius rising, this last quarter moon in Virgo is in your 8th house. Release unhealthy attachments to others, release insecurities, or what is keeping you from being vulnerable with others. If you're a Capricorn rising, Virgo is in your 9th house. Release any beliefs, life mottos, or philosophies that no longer resonate with you. If you are a Sagittarius rising, this Virgo last quarter moon is happening in your 10th house. Release long-term goals that no longer feel in alignment, even if that includes your current career or your current public role. If you're a Scorpio rising, this last quarter moon in Virgo is happening in your 11th house. Release or remove yourself from friends and communities that no longer feel in alignment with your vision. If you're a Libra rising, this last quarter moon is happening in your 12th house. Release karmic relationships and patterns that have served their purpose and no longer need to be repeated. Release your limiting beliefs and release healing in silence. Be louder about your healing. If you like to have a ritual attached to your release work, you can write it on a leaf, what you're releasing, and then release it by burying it into the earth. The reason I say burying it instead of burning it, a lot of people like to release using fire and burning it in a burn bowl. I like to release based on the element that the last quarter moon is going to be in. So since it is in Virgo, this lunar cycle, which is an earth element, I like to then release using the element of earth and burying it into the ground. Okay. So also, I know a lot of you will charge your crystals under the full moon or make full moon water, and that is a beautiful practice, but you can do that under the other moon phases as well. So any crystals, water, or other spiritual tools that are charged under the last quarter moon will hold the energy of releasing, of letting go, and of banishing. Okay, so I like to charge my crystals that I would use for cutting cords or release work or banishing work under the last quarter moon. For me, that would be like black kyanite is my number one, right? Black kyanite is definitely my number one. Teresa is a Scorpio rising. Freddie is a Taurus rising. Hello. The last thing, and then here on the card for the last quarter moon in Virgo, we have attend to the details. So if you do not know your rising sign and you can't go back and listen to what I listed for each of the rising signs and how to release based on what your rising sign is for this last quarter moon, some general advice with it being just a last quarter moon in Virgo: release perfectionism and attend to the details. Sometimes we want to release something major, right? Release this major thing. But transformation is rarely this like major overhaul. Usually transformation is small, consistent changes towards a goal. Okay. And so Virgo energy reminds us of that because Virgo energy is very meticulous and detailed. And so you're releasing with this last quarter moon in Virgo may be something like detail oriented, right? Detail oriented. Raven, I just thought about you and those, your locks and like how detail oriented that is to sit and brush those out. So that's another way that this feels in alignment. But detail oriented, it might be something small. So even the smallest of things need to be released, right? You might think, oh, this is something so small. Do I really need to do like a release ritual based on this? And it's like, yeah, especially last quarter moon in Virgo, pay attention to those details, those small little inconspicuous things that may be holding you back or tripping you up that could be aligned for Virgo last quarter moon. So if you don't know your rising sign and can't go back and listen to what the advice I just gave per each rising, you can apply that to everyone. Okay. So the last thing that we are going to talk about is something that I'm really excited about. I'm so excited, and I know you will be too as soon as you hear me talk about this. So Wednesday, December 6th, we have Neptune stationing direct, ending its retrograde cycle. So Neptune is the planet of dreams, imagination, magic, fantasy, spirituality, and escapism. It's a beautiful, beautiful energy, but with everything else, it has its higher expression and its lower expression. Neptune has been in its home sign of Pisces since 2011, 2012, and will stay there until 2026. This has contributed to the mass spiritual awakening on the planet. More and more people are identifying as spiritual, and topics such as meditation, tarot, crystals, astrology are all more accepted now than ever before. This is wonderful as we as a collective, you see Neptune is an outer planet and it affects the collective more so than it does the individual. We as a collective have been given the perfect cosmic energy to deepen our spiritual lives and our connection to the ether, right? To the element ether. But right, everything has a higher expression and a lower expression. There is no good or bad. It's just how we choose to interact with that energy, right? But Neptune also tends to put rose-colored glasses on us, right? So Neptune is this beautiful planet of like magic and fantasy. And so sometimes it can tend to put a veil over our eyes, put on those rose-colored glasses, causing a veil and sometimes causing some confusion. Neptune has been retrograde since June 30th. So this has been quite a while we've been working with this energy. And during that time, the rose-colored glasses came off. The veil lifted, and it's almost like being thrust into reality with no escape. So, but of course, right, retrograde is when the planet is turning its energy inward rather than externally. So think back over the last 5 months or so. Have illusions in your life been shattered? Have you had to face some tough realities and some tough truths? Turning it inward, have you had to confront some false truths about yourself? Have you had to come face to face with realized fears, right? Some people say like fears aren't real, but most of us sitting in this chat right now know that we've had some fears and then come face to face with them and have them realized, right? So this is what Neptune retrograde is all about. It's about taking off the rose-colored glasses, shattering the illusions, and facing some hard, cold truths. So now that Neptune is direct, we can safely slip back into creating our own reality rather than accepting the reality we are currently in. You see, that's the thing that Neptune retrograde does. It doesn't do that. It doesn't make us face these truths to just shatter us, right? Instead, it makes us face these truths. So, like, how can I create my own reality if I am not fully seeing what the reality really is? So that's what Neptune retrograde does. It's all about connecting to your fantasies, creating your own magic, imagining your own life, like really connecting into that imagination and then creating it. But every year it stations retrograde, so it can be like, whoa, let's get out of fantasy land. Let's come face to face with these truths and these realized fears. So then when you are safe to reconnect with your fantasy. You can discard outdated dreams and reimagine them based on what's really happening, right? We can't stay in fantasy land all the time. Sometimes we have to have that veil lifted so that we can really see what's happening. Because if we don't have that opportunity to kind of step out of fantasy land and be confronted with truths, we could possibly be blindly chasing dreams that no longer align with us personally, that no longer align with the collective mission, right? So Neptune retrograde takes some time as we're coming up on its stationing direct. It takes some time to reflect over the last 5 months since June 30th and really jot down some of those truths that you've had to face, some of those fears that you've had to realize, and some of the ways that perhaps your dreams need to be reimagined now that you have come face to face with the truth and the reality. Okay? So that is the Astro forecast. So we've got some beautiful energy, but really some, getting Getting right there with the truth, right? Getting right there with the truth. And I love that we have the last quarter moon happening in Virgo, which is opposing that Pisces energy where Neptune is sitting. So it's like calling a balance. Like we're reimagining our dreams. We're being given the opportunity to reconnect with our fantasies with that Neptune stationing direct in Pisces energy. And then opposing that is going to be that last quarter moon in Virgo, where we're getting down to the nitty gritty, to the real, to the mundane, and releasing in the mundane what is holding us back from reaching our goals in the spiritual world, in the dream world, and our fantasy world, right? How can we, anytime we have something opposing each other, it's about finding the balance to meet in the middle. So finding that balance between our dreams and our reality and trying to get them to come together and meet in the middle. So that's the energy of this week, getting your dreams and your reality to come together and to meet in the middle and to create something that that feels aligned for you. So as most of you know, I do like to pull a couple cards at the end of the Astro forecast to just make sure we didn't miss anything. Before I dive into the cards, I did want to say, hey Melody, I did want to say that in the video description, I linked the link to the your personal 2024 new moon manifestation guide. If you haven't ordered one of those, go ahead and get that. It's only going to be available till the end of the month. It is a 10+ page guide that is written just for you, based on where every new moon is happening based on your personal chart. So if you listen to me going through the last quarter moon and saying, if you're this, if you're that, that's how the new moon manifestation guide is going to go. It's going to give you a page about how to manifest with the new moon, with the moon cycle. It's going to give you a page on, setting your intentions, setting your long-term intentions, setting your short-term intentions. You should be setting 2 intentions with every new moon. A short-term intention that is expected to come to fruition in 2 weeks for the next full moon, and then a long-term fruition point that is expected to come to fruition in 6 months at the next full moon that corresponds with that new moon sign. And then you'll have all the rest of the pages are going to go through each new moon of 2024, what the energy of that new moon is, where it is happening based on your personal birth chart, and how to set intentions that align with that energy so the cosmic energy can fully support it. We all have a money manifestation new moon. We all have a love and relationship manifestation new moon. The cosmic energies, the universe can come in and support you more fully when you're setting intentions that are aligned with where these things are happening in your personal birth chart. Say, for instance, I'm trying to set intentions around money and abundance on a new moon that is happening in my 9th house, where I should be setting intentions on expanding my perceptions, right? Those don't align. Those don't mesh together. So how can the universe support that? So this is going to up-level your manifesting. So I did link that in the video description. Be sure to check that out. And then I have our cards for this week. First one from the Tarot of Transformation. Look at that Kali coming out as we've been talking about that last quarter moon, as we've been talking about that release work, as we've been talking about facing truths and reimagining dreams and having old plans or dreams kind of be shattered, right? We have Kali, which is the Tower in this deck, talking about shattering the structure. So I love that. If that is not supported there, I absolutely love that. And then I have a card from the Wisdom of Women Goddess deck. This is a collaborative deck with 42 real women and their real messages by my friend Nancy Weiss. It is not available to the public just now, so you get a little sneak peek here. And I pulled the Generator card. This is my friend Ivy Long. And she says, when we think of a generator, typically we think of a machine that keeps the energy flowing when the power goes out. Each of us are gifted with the same consistent access to our own abundant energy reserves. This allows us to not only respond correctly, but also throw ourselves into any project and succeed. We have the ability to keep on going even when the going seems tough. Though you must decide what it is that is truly important to you. Reimagining our dreams, right? Overthinking and overcommitting will only lead to burnout. Say yes to things you want to do and no to what you do not want to do. Either way, always listen to your intuition. I think that perfectly aligns with what we were talking about last quarter moon in Virgo, right? Releasing responsibilities, unnecessary responsibilities that we've taken on in the real world, in the mundane world, and then balancing with that, use your intuition with that beautiful Neptune in Pisces energy. Affirmation: I listen to my gut and trust my heart, simply responding without overthinking. Journal prompt: what is one thing that I am committed to do, but what is one thing that I committed to but did not want to do? How can I change that in the future? Okay, so beautiful, beautiful cards for the week. One more reminder, it's not Mercury retrograde yet, but Mercury retrograde is approaching. I believe Mercury stations retrograde on the 13th. Yep, Wednesday the 13th. Holiday plans. Leave yourself extra time if you're traveling. Mercury retrograde can cause delay, especially delay in traveling. I would send out packages early. I would not wait last minute to do my preparation, right? I'm a last minute holiday girl. I'm like Christmas Eve getting it all done. This year, I will not be doing that because I know Mercury's going to be retrograde, which can cause some delays, some miscommunications, okay? Some confusion. So my plan, don't hold me to it, is to get things done earlier, because that is one way we can use the cosmic energy. If we know what's coming up, we can plan our life around it to just be more aligned, right? Don't let astrology rule your life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if we can know what's coming up, we can sit back and say, okay, this would be more aligned, right? This would be more aligned. So do not let astrology dictate your life, but do let it assist you in directing your life. That is my suggestion as an astrologer, right? All right, loves, that's our Astro forecast for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. This will be available for the replay if you missed the beginning. So much love to you.